How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Aftershock, a sports kind of YouTube channel that I'm going to try my best to convert it into somewhat of a podcast. So, and don't mind the camera, the glitchiness of the camera. This PC is not working, so I'm trying my best to record off of my laptop with the camera connected to it. It could be better, but we're just going to work with what I got at the moment. So, but yeah. My name is Shocker. I have another YouTube channel where it's C Shocker, and this is the Aftershock. This is a channel solely dedicated for sports-related content, as I wanted to keep it completely separate from my main channel. So this is the Aftershock Sports Podcast, I would say. The World Cup is pretty much like a couple of days away. I'm super excited. It's one of those things that I look forward to like every 4 years. And, you know, my main team has always been the Mexican national team. I've always repped the Mexican national team ever since I was a young little boy. You know, it's been a huge tradition with family to get together to watch the Mexican national team play. I've always had a Mexico national team jersey. I've always had a jersey from La Selección Mexicana. So one of my first jerseys I've ever owned was the 2006 World Cup jersey. I wish I still had that jersey. I don't even know what happened to that jersey, but that's one of the jerseys that has been like one of my favorites that I was like, if only I still had it. But I was a kid, so it wouldn't even fit me now, so it doesn't even matter. But I got my knockoff jersey that my girlfriend gave me on her trip to Mexico. So this is what we are working with at the moment. So I do have an official jersey coming in from the 2026 World Cup. And I hope to get that pretty soon. I have the green jersey. I might buy another jersey just to so I can have something to wear for the first actual game, because my kid's not coming in till the 17th. So the first game's on the 11th, and the jersey won't come until the 17th. So I gotta have to wait. So I'm probably gonna get like another one. I might get either the black or white away kits. So we'll see. If they have the black, I'll get the black first, because the blacks have been selling out. I tried to get one on the Adidas official site. Large, sold out. So I'm going to try my best. Maybe I can find an outlet on my way to my job interview that I have like a couple hours to see if I can get a jersey. Kind of ranted a lot. I feel like in podcasts, you got to rant quite a bit. So this is my first time. Feel free to give me any type of criticism so I can learn for the future. But moving forward, let's talk about the Mexican national team. The Mexican national team that we have right now is a mix of people, a mix of different guys. You have guys who have experience in European type of play style, I would say. So they play for European teams, and you have a bunch of young guys. I would say they're like 23 and under, or 24 and under, maybe 25. We'll go 25 and under. We have a lot of young guys who are going to be starting for the first time in the FIFA World Cup. So the pressure is already up there for some of these young guys. But what I can say is that this group that we have right now is a huge improvement from the group that we had in 2022, the last World Cup in Qatar. The group that we have right now is a huge improvement. One of the biggest complaints that I've heard and that I've seen is that our weakness has been that we don't have developed players to compete in the World Cup. Now we have players, and I guarantee you this, by next FIFA World Cup, so that's 2030, I believe. The next World Cup, we're going to have a lot more. Our players are going to be a lot more solid. And I'll break that down later on. But what I can tell you this is that we have a lot more solid group that I feel like in our group stage, I feel super confident that we can break out in our group stage. In the group stage, in Group A, which is where Mexico is currently placed at, we are grouped with South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia, I believe. I hope I said the name correctly. I believe it's Czechia. Yeah, I had that right, Czechia. This team, I think I try my best to watch as many games as I can. I'm not huge into European soccer. What I can tell you this is that I've been paying a close eye. I wouldn't say I've been keeping like a super close eye in La Liga MX, but I've been keeping a close eye in La Liga MX, and a lot of the players that are currently in the roster are Liga MX players. The team that I follow is Chivas de Guadalajara. That's my team. I know everyone has their own team, and I hope the comments don't get too crazy about me being a Chivas fan. I've posted a couple TikTok videos, and comments have been pretty brutal about Chivas fans. But I've been paying very close attention to the Chivas de Guadalajara. 5 of our top players have been called up. Our goalie, our strikers, our midfielders, they've been called up to play for the Selección Mexicana. So, I can't tell you what I know about that team, but the European team, there's only so much that I do know. I know enough about our strikers, but I don't know too much about our defense and then the rest of the players that are on midfield. So I'm midfielders. So I'm going to try my best to give you a detailed report as to what I know. So from where I started at, I've been trying to keep a close eye on the Mexican national team. And so I would pay attention to a lot of the friendlies that have been played throughout since they started calling up players. Let's just say that. Even before they started calling up players, because they've had there was a couple times where they had called up players during the Liga MX regular season, but it wasn't until I believe it was the 16th of, was it May? I think it was the 16th of May, where they wanted all the Liga MX players to report to the main facility. I've been keeping a close eye on all the friendlies because I wanted to keep I wanted to be a little more knowledgeable about where the direction of the team was going in, and I wanted to see how each players were doing. I wanted to see how our strikers do, our midfielders, our defense, the goalkeepers. I just wanted to see. I wanted to get a feel of where Mexico was going, and I have to say I feel really confident about the Mexican national team. I think one of the 2 games that I felt really confident in is when we played against Belgium and Portugal. And Mexico held their own against Belgium and Mexico. We didn't score, and they didn't score. But the fact that we went toe-to-toe and we didn't even have most of our starters with us for the Mexican national team, I think that put a lot of confidence in me moving forward with the Mexican national team, that we were able to go toe-to-toe with Belgium and Portugal. The United States couldn't go toe-to-toe with Belgium and Portugal. They both were able to find opportunities to score against the United States. They could not find the opportunity to score against Mexico. And I understand that they didn't have some of their starters as well. Completely understand that. But they have a couple guys in there that do play in European teams, especially Portugal. I think most of Portugal's players are starters for a European team. So I think that says a lot about the national team, about the Mexican national team moving forward in their group stage. A lot of the things that I've been hearing is that now the conversation is starting to shift a little bit. But before that, I heard talks that Mexico wasn't going to make it out of the group stage, that they were going to struggle against South Africa. And I don't think Mexico is going to struggle against South Africa. I think Mexico, I could see Mexico beating South Africa. Could it be a tie? Or could it be, winning with taking a 1-goal lead? I could see that happening. I don't see South Africa beating Mexico. Guarantee you, I think Mexico could be South Africa. The only team that concerns me, and then obviously Czechia. I think Mexico could be Czechia as well. The only team that concerns me in the Group A stage where Mexico's placed in is South Korea. I think South Korea has a better team. I could see that being more of a challenge than South Africa. Now, how these group stages work is that each lead that you have, so let's say you're leading against how can I break this down better? All right, so you have a team playing against another team. And we'll put Mexico and South Africa as the example. If Mexico beats South Africa, Mexico gets 3 points. And South Africa ends up with 0 points. If Mexico and South Africa tie, each team gets 1 point. So, how this works is that you want to end up with the most points by the end of the group stage matches, I would say. So, if Mexico were to beat all the teams in their group stages, so Czechia, South Korea, and South Africa, if they were to beat all those teams, they could end up with a score of 9 points. I believe Mexico could finish with 7 points. I don't think that they'll... if they can make it with 9 points, the momentum for Mexico is going to be huge moving forward to the knockout stage. So that's pretty much how it works. And that's why I think Mexico probably has a good chance of making it out of the group stage. A lot of people say that Mexico's not going to make it out of the group stage. I feel like if you don't pay attention to what Mexico's doing, then I can see why you have that mindset of Mexico not making it out of the group stage with their past histories and stuff like that. I honestly think that Mexico does have a good chance of making it out of the group stage. So don't listen to what people are saying. Don't listen to they're not going to beat South Africa. Mexico for sure can beat South Africa. I think the only team to be concerned about is South Korea. I know they have a key role player for South Korea. I don't know his name. Eventually, I'll learn the names. Like I mentioned before, I'm a recent college grad, so I didn't have too much time to watch, European soccer or anything like that. I've been mainly focused on, completing homework and very rarely watching, a soccer game in the Selección Mexicana. So that's what I think about Mexico in their group stage. Now, do I think Mexico is going to make it all the way? I want to believe, and I'm always going to say yes, but realistically, I don't think Mexico can make it all the way. I can see them beating the first team in the knockout stage, depending on who the team is. I believe if we get second place, I know for sure we're gonna be competing against. I believe it's the group that Canada's in. Let's see. So, according to this bracket, if Mexico gets second place in their Group A stage, they'll face against the second place winner from Group 2, or Group B, the second place winner from Group B. So that's either Canada, Qatar, Switzerland, and I'm blanking on the other team. But that's what that's the picture of what's happening right now. If Mexico makes it into second place. Now, if Mexico gets first place, they will have to face against the winners of the third place winners of Group C, E, F, H, and I. And so, where does C start? C starts here, so that's like Brazil, Morocco. There's so many teams I can't name them all, but I'm just giving you an idea, a picture, so you can look at this at your own time. A huge a lot of the things that you're gonna have to do is like pay attention to who has the highest points in third place throughout Group C, E, F, H, and I. So whoever has the highest points in those groups, that's who Mexico will be facing. So it's kind of hard to tell who Mexico will face. But if we do get second place, I can tell you this, that we would face anyone who gets second place in Group E. So that could be either Canada, Qatar, Switzerland, and that third team. I don't remember who that third team is. If I scroll up a little bit, I'll know. Bosnia. There you go. So, who I think might get second place in Group B, I think it's probably going to be, I don't know. I feel like Qatar might get second place. It has to be either Switzerland or Qatar. That's who I think is going to get second place. It's going to be either Switzerland or Qatar getting second or first place. And then Bosnia and Canada, third and fourth. So that's what's going to happen moving forward. I hope Mexico can keep moving up the ladder in the knockout rounds. That's all I hope. A lot of the main issues that we've never gone past the quarterfinal. If we can go past the quarterfinal and go to semifinals, that'd be huge for Mexico. But I don't know if we can make it out of the quarterfinals. I think we're going to struggle in the quarterfinals because we have a lot of young guys in the team. And yeah, just a lot of young players on the team, on the Mexican national team, and a lot of inexperienced players who've never competed against teams who have actual players who are currently playing for European teams. So I feel like it's going to be a huge challenge for Mexico. But the fact that we're playing at home during our group stage is huge because you're gonna have the support of all, like, everyone from Mexico coming to the game to watch the Mexican national team. You're gonna have supporters from there. And another positive thing about Mexico is that when they make it to the knockout stage, because most of the knockout stage is going to be played in the United States. I believe if Mexico gets first place, they'll be in Houston. And if they get in second place, they'll be playing in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Already, those two stadiums already have huge Mexican supporters in the United States. So that's like one of the best things Mexico has moving forward, is that they're going to have the support of Mexico fans, and not only just Mexico, but the United States as well. And there's going to be plenty of people from Mexico who are going to be making the trip to watch the team play in the United States. So that's the picture of what Mexico is going to be having to deal with moving forward. I wish I can tell you more about who they'll face if they get first place and stuff like that, and I could paint a better picture. I think what I can tell you, who I think is going to be a huge threat in the national tournament, in the World Cup, I think the huge threats is going to be France, Spain. Argentina was the championship last year. I don't know how they'll do this year. England for sure, Germany for sure, and we'll throw in Portugal in there as well. And then I think Brazil as well. So I think those are going to be one of the biggest teams to keep your eyes out for. It's going to be a tough battle. I'm very interested to watch games for Portugal, because I want to see, how Cristiano Ronaldo does. I'll be keeping an eye on Argentina as well, because this is Messi's last year. Most of these players have been playing since is it 2018, or was it even longer than that? I think 2018, maybe longer. I don't know. But yeah, I'm interested to see how Ronaldo does. So I'm going to be paying attention to Portugal. I'm interested to see how Messi does. So I'm going to be watching Argentina. Spain for sure, because you have Lamine Yamal there. He's probably he's not the youngest guy there, but he's one of the youngest breakout stars probably to be starting for Spain. And he's already He's probably their best threat. They're gonna have more than just one threat, but like if you're looking for like who's their like star player, Lamine Yamal's their star player. I'm interested to see how Mbappe does with France. Mbappe currently is in hot water right now, especially with the drama happening with Real Madrid. More than likely, Mbappe is going to be leaving Madrid to go play for another team. But the drama there, yikes. But I think he does good when he plays with his national team. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with France. Germany always does good. I wish I can tell you who their star player is, but like I said, I don't watch too much European soccer. I hope to do that at some point in the future, but yeah, those are I have to say those teams that I named off of with their star players. Oh, and then obviously Brazil with Neymar. Oh my God, why couldn't I not remember that name? Neymar. So gonna be interested in watching how Neymar plays as well. This Neymar, Ronaldo, Messi. I don't know if there's I'm pretty sure there's other players who they're all playing for like the final time in the World Cup, and they've been like all those players have all played at like the same time, the same year of the World Cup, and so here they are all the way in 2026 playing their final year. So gonna be interesting watching them. Now let's focus on the Mexican national team players. Let me see if I have the squads somewhere here. So, on May 30th, Mexico had dropped their official roster, their 26-man lineup, and a lot of the people were wondering who's going to get cut, who's going to make it, who's going to be that missing player that's going to fill in for the role. I don't know who they were talking about, to be completely honest with you. But I have the list right here. So let's start off with the goalies. So, goalkeepers, we have Carlos. If I butcher the name, I apologize. I'm going to try my best. Carlos Acevedo, goalkeeper for Santos, Liga MX. Obviously, Guillermo Ochoa. I believe he is playing for a team in Italy, I believe. Guillermo Ochoa is still doing good. I think he looked amazing in the last friendly against Australia. I think he played good, so I feel okay with him. If they wanted to start Ochoa, I think I'd be okay with that. And then Raul Rangel, a goalkeeper for Chivas de Guadalajara. I think he's the most comfortable goalkeeper that we have right now because he's been playing most of every friendlies. But I could see him being the starter over Guillermo Ochoa. But I could see Ochoa starting if the head coach wants to have Ochoa play or be the starter. Moving on to the defenders, we have Edson Alvarez, Mateo Chavez, Jesus Gallardo, Cesar Montes, Israel Reyes, Jorge Sanchez, and Juan Vasquez. So these are our defenders. There's not too much that I know about the defenders of who I think is going to be the starter or who I think is going to do good. I know there's a lot of the huge questions that we have is, I believe, on the left side of the field. I think that's been our weakness, our left side. So that's something I'm going to have to pay attention to when I watch the next friendly, I believe. So we have one more friendly on June 4th. And then June 11th is the actual game. So I'm going to try to do my best to pay attention to defense to see how the defense does. I'm going to have like a note, like a sheet of paper and notes, and I'm going to be writing down. So when I come back to you again with my reports of like how I think the team did, I have a better ball knowledge to be able to explain what I saw. So moving on to midfielders. Now this is something that I do have some knowledge in. Luis Chavez, Alvarado Fidalgo, Brian Gutierrez, Eric Lira, Gilberto Mora, Orbelin Pineda, Luis Romo, and Ovid Vargas. Now, here are the players that I know for sure are going to be starting. Have to start. And that's Brian Gutierrez. Brian Gutierrez, a player for Chivas. He started in he tried to compete for the U.S. men's national team, and when that didn't work out, he made the jump to play for the Mexican national team by competing in Liga MX for Chivas de Guadalajara. And I think from all the friendly matches that we've seen, I think Brian Gutierrez has been our top player for sure. I think he has the most goal scorers from the friendlies leading up to the World Cup. So Brian Gutierrez, I think, has to start for Mexico. He is 22 years old. He's from Chicago, Mexican American. And, you have to start Brian. I think he's probably the player who has the best odds of helping Mexico move forward. And then the next player, Gilberto Mora. The youngest player, I think, as of right now, to ever enter the FIFA World Cup at a young age. He's 17 years old. I think he plays for Cholos, for Mexicana. I believe they are from... Are they from Tijuana? You would think I would know this stuff. Yeah, Tijuana. See, I know. So he plays for Cholos for Tijuana, but he's been a good player for the Selección Mexicana. I know he's played a couple of Gold Cup matches for Mexico, and he's going to be huge for the Mexican national team as well moving forward. So those are the two players that I have knowledge in. The rest, maybe there's like one player I'm like really good with faces. I'm not really good with names. It's something that I have to actually take time to memorize to understand, put names with faces. It's an ADHD thing that I have. I don't know why. Starting with our forwards, Roberto Alvarado, Santiago Jimenez, Armando Gonzalez, Cesar Huerta, Raúl Jiménez, Guillermo Montes, Julian Quiñones, and Alexis Vega. Now this, I do have quite a few knowledge in this area. Let's start off with the players that we do know who are going to be starting, and let's focus on Julian Quiñones first. Julian Quiñones played for Club America and transferred over to play for the Saudi League. I don't know which team he played for, but I do know he played in the Saudi League. And he finished the regular season as the top goal scorer in the Saudi League. Now, he's probably our best forward out of the whole forwards that we have right now on this list. Julian Quiñones. I hope I said that right. I think I messed up the first time I said that. But he is our best option in our striker position. Most of the time I've seen him play in the left wing, but I don't know what the formation is going to look like moving forward. I've seen a lot of people make good arguments about how we should have formation this and formation that, and we should have maybe 2 strikers forward and 4 midfielders. So it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen, but for sure he's going to be more on the left side. And then playing on the opposite side of him, we're going to have Raúl Jiménez. I have nothing bad to say for Raúl Jiménez. I think he's a good player. I think he obviously has experience. He's played it for European teams. I probably have more confidence in Raúl Jiménez over Santi Jiménez, only because of the injury that Santi Jiménez had before going into the World Cup. I just wish I could see more from Raul Jimenez, because I've watched Raul Jimenez play. I haven't watched every single game, but the ones that I have watched, especially like the friendlies moving forward, I haven't seen anything for me to be like excited about Raul Jimenez. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I do want to see him. I want to be confident in Raul Jimenez. That's all I'm trying to say, is that I want to be confident in Raul Jimenez. I want to see him score a goal. I have not seen him score a goal since the lead up to the World Cup. So, and I do know, like, as of like recently, since the game that they played in Toluca Stadium, that friendly, I know we were trying to have some of the other younger guys kind of start a little bit, like Armando Gonzalez was starting for Raul Jimenez, so Raul Jimenez didn't start. And then the last friendly, Raul Jimenez didn't start, but Santi Jimenez did get some playing time halfway through the game. So I do want to see more from Raul Jimenez. I think he's still a good player. I think he is a player who's going to make an impact and make a difference for Mexico, but I do want to see him score a goal. That's my only concern with Raul Jimenez being the starter, and why I would have him start over these next players that I'm going to be naming off. The next strongest player that we have in striker is Santi Jimenez. Santi Jimenez, if I remember correctly, he started for, I believe, for Cruz Azul. Made the jump to play for a European team. And I have to do a quick Google search, because I know they're both Italian teams. Started for Club America. Went to Vineyard in 2022 up to 2025. Then transferred to AC Milan in 2025. Santi Jimenez has been a good player in the European teams. I think I probably have him start over Raul Jimenez. However, Santi just got back from an injury and has not had any play time since coming out of the injury. If I remember correctly, AC Milan did not even start him since coming back from his injury, and he's been sitting on bench this whole time since he came back from injury. And so that's why I'd rather have Raul Jimenez start, because Raul Jimenez does have some play time. I think that I feel more confident with Raul Jimenez than Santi Jimenez. And I do think Santi Jimenez is a better striker over Raul Jimenez. It's just the fact that he's coming off an injury with almost practically no play time that I think might hinder his performance. I do think that, like, as the time progresses or throughout these group stages, I could see the shift happening where Santi does become the starter over Raul Jimenez. So that's our top three strikers. If we were to go to like a three-man formation in the front, I can see those three guys being the starters for sure. Moving on, let's go with that. Roberto Alvarado, Piojo. I think, man, so much tongue twisters. Let me get a sip of water just to like help with like the speech. Okay, so Roberto Alvarado, El Piojo. I call him El Piojo because it's much more easier for me to say that. A lot of people have issues with Piojo. I think it's not that I think, it's one of the main issues that a lot of people has with him is that he plays at right back and he hasn't been super productive when it comes to playing for the Mexican national team. He plays for Chivas, so I'm gonna like my main goal as like I'm doing this podcast is I want to be very critical, and I don't want to be showing any favoritism or nothing like that. So I'm going to be very critical, especially against Chivas players. Has not been having a good time in the Mexican national team, I would say. There's been a couple of like issues of him being at right on the right side of the field as a striker. I think he does really well if he was on the right side of the field playing defense. I've seen him be super aggressive when it comes to defending than I see him as a striker. So I think he should make the move to defense, because against Belgium and Portugal, he didn't allow any teams who are better at playing in the left side. Like, Piojo put them on lockdown. And I think he's a very good defender over being a striker. Now, will that change moving forward? Only time will tell. We'll have to see. He is 27 years old. He should be in his prime right now. But we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with Piojo. So that's the current issue that people are having. This is the current issues that I see. But I think he does really well in defending. I don't know too much on Cesar Huerta. I don't know too much on Guillermo Martinez. I believe Guillermo was the guy who scored a goal in the last two friendlies. I believe that's him. I could be wrong. And then Alexis Vega. I've heard a lot of rumors. I don't know. I try not to listen to rumors, because rumors could be either false or true. One of the biggest concerns people heard was Alexis Vega being injured and he wasn't going to make the roster. But he made the roster. He's on the roster. Is that leg injury going to be an issue? I don't know. But Alexis Vega did come off winning back-to-back championship in Liga MX with Toluca. So I could see him being a good backup supporter if they were to put him into the game. And then last but not least, my favorite player, Armando Gonzalez, Hormiga, the striker for Chivas de Guadalajara. He finished off, I don't know if he was the top goal scorer in the 25 to 26 Liga MX season, but 24 to 25, hold on. Liga MX, okay, soccer's so different from American sports, because you have seasons that start from from this time to this time, but with Mexican soccer, they have two different seasons in 1 year. So the season prior to the one that just currently ended, Hormiga, Armando Gonzalez, tied with the most goal scorers out of all the players in the Mexican roster at 23 years old. Last season was his first season starting, and he was able to be one of the top goal scorers for Mexico. Armando Gonzalez is not good when it comes to, putting pressure at having the full control of the ball. What he's really good at is having the ball knowledge to understand where the ball's going to go so he can position himself to score a goal. That's what Armando Gonzalez does best. He's very good at being at the right place at the right time. Last season, I don't know if he had the most goal scorers. I don't know if he tied. I don't know what happened, because a lot of these players got called up and they had to leave their team, so they couldn't really compete with their club teams once they got called up. So I don't know if he had the top goal scorer, but he pretty much was doing very well last season. I do know, coming back, the last two games that he had with Chivas de Guadalajara, he didn't score any goals. But prior to that, it felt like almost every game he was scoring a goal, almost every game. So he's going to be a very young talent to keep your eyes on. These are the three young guys I want you to keep your eyes on. Armando Gonzalez, Brian Gutierrez, and Gilberto Mora. Those three guys, keep your eyes out for those guys. Now, I did mention earlier that I think Mexico is going to be a dangerous team. Maybe not this year, but 4 years after this one, I think Mexico is going to be a huge competition. A dangerous team, I would say. And that's because a lot of these young guys, especially after the FIFA World Cup, there's going to be a lot of eyes on these guys. Some of these guys already have, like, talks of them already getting offers from, like, different teams. Like, for example, Gilberto Mora is getting an offer from Real Madrid. The next guy, I believe, is Brian Gutierrez. I think from what I last remember hearing, I think he had gotten an offer from Chelsea. And then Armando Gonzalez, he's been getting a lot of offers. I can't tell you which offer I think he's going to... Like, I don't know which team he's going to go with. There's a team in Germany with the logo BVB. You guys probably know it more than know what the team's name is. I don't know what the team name is. I just know that it's like a yellow circle with like a BVB on it. I think that's probably one of the best teams that Armando Gonzalez should go into. And then you have Barcelona. Barcelona is also looking into Armando Gonzalez, but I think he should go to like a team where he knows he's going to start and he's going to have playtime. So a lot of these guys, there's even other guys in here that are currently on the roster that are going to get called up. And I guarantee you, next 4 years, we're going to be a much more bigger threat moving forward for the next World Cup. So my predictions for what I think is going to happen moving forward against Mexico and South Africa, I think Mexico is going to finish the game maybe 2-0. I say 2-0. I think that's going to be the final score for Mexico versus South Africa. I can see Julian Quiñones scoring a goal, and I can see Brian Gutierrez scoring a goal. What formation they'll run, we'll just have to wait and see. There was a YouTube channel that I was, kind of watching earlier just to get, better understanding. And that YouTube channel is Lads Footy Show. Great group of guys who also do like a sports podcast and stuff like that, mainly focused on soccer. They came up with, I think, was probably the best lineup. And it was called like the diamond formation. So you had 4 guys in defense, 4 guys in the midfield, and 2 guys on the striker position. So you had Julian Quiñones and Raul Jimenez as our 2 strikers. And then to replace them, you would put Santi Jimenez and Armando Gonzalez. And then for the midfielders, like, I think it was just a huge... I think that their lineup is the lineup Mexico should be going with moving forward, the diamond formation. Because you'll also have, in the diamond formation, you'll have Brian Gutierrez and Gilberto Mora. And there's 2 other guys who also have been like doing very solid in the midfield. So I hope Mexico does the diamond formation. They move with the diamond formation, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to do the diamond formation. It's probably going to be like 3 strikers up front, 3 defenders in the middle. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. So that's all I got. I got to get going because I got an interview that I have in a couple of hours. So I had to start getting dressed and start heading out. So if you liked this video, let me know what you guys think. Please make sure you like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Let me know who you're supporting for in the World Cup, who you're excited to see in the World Cup, which team are you going to be paying close attention to, and who do you think is going to win it all? Just, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see. I just can't wait for June 11th. That's all I can say. The only thing I wish was different about the first match is that I wish it didn't start at 12 p.m. It's like, what happens if I get hired? They just hire me off the spot. and I have to work, there's no way I'm going to be able to watch the game on June 11th at 12 p.m. because, I'm like freshly hired. They're not going to give me, I can't request PTO just to watch Mets go play. So I don't know. We'll see. And then maybe at some point I'll catch a game in like San Francisco. Maybe watch Qatar play against another team. But yeah, I'm super excited for the FIFA World Cup. This is probably the sport that I'm like always super excited about. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned for next videos. At some point, I do want to kind of dive into a little bit of basketball about certain things that happened that I'm not super happy about. At some point, we'll cover, baseball. I have one of my moderators for Twitch and for streaming. He wants to come on and do like a segment, and then we'll cover football, which is like my favorite American sport. So keep your eyes. I got to get going. Take care. And it's been a pleasure having you guys here all the way through. So call it quits.